Valentine's Day and Singles Holiday, but we don't need to bring up those painful memories. We're back with Dungeons and Dragons and Ye Old Underkeep. A couple of things happened. Ganez may not be joining us. It looks like he's not here tonight. He had a event. I'll say a life event that happened, and yeah, stuff come up. Another person that had a life event and will no longer be playing is Skywolf. And then Rayleigh is feeling sick, so she may not come up for just tonight. So Ganez and Rayleigh just tonight, and then Skywolf is no more. But anyway, I know we're in the deep ocean, but give me a second. Let me get back to the town. Back here in the harbor, it is day 3. Repairs should be done to the rock, the FMS rock, with Captain Picklepaws at the helm, and everybody should be pretty well rested after a night of partying and hardy-harring and wrestling pigs and such things. Oh, it did it? Oops. Well. Oh, yeah, Crown got stolen. That's right. Well, it's not the end of the world yet, and we don't know that a war was started yet. Things are kind of just pushing off. So anyway, just to kind of let y'all know what happened after. Well, do y'all want to pick up, that night, like right after the crown was stolen, or do you want me to kind of like do a little bit of a time lapse and explain it a little bit? Time lapse. Okay, so a little bit of a time lapse, about 8 hours. Y'all all went back to the tavern, slept off whatever hangover or cheese over you might have had. For those of you that had a copious amount of cheese, Vulcan. Um, so y'all went back, and early the next morning, Rayleigh kind of ran off and did stuff. Basically, she's got herself on in the brig. She annoyed Picklepaws and got herself and Sophia in the brig of the rock. Yeah, and she found Ganez there because Ganez was trying to, Picklepaws accused him of trying to poach some of Picklepaw's special wares of fish he has an aquarium in his captain's lounge, or captain's. Yeah, all 2 of them. Yeah, well, and a rabbit too, so 3 of them. And then Skywolf, after many years of pirating on the high seas, apparently just ended up drinking himself to death. He was having too much of a good time with his crew on the ship and ended up dying of alcohol poisoning. this isn't that game. So yeah, it's the next morning, and y'all wake up to a knock at the door of the White Sails Inn, or Tavern. White Sails Tavern. There is clearly a sailor standing before you. He has his pants that are kind of ripped off into almost capris at this point. They're, the classical blue and white stripes. Um, what's that word? Vertical stripes. He wears a red shirt with ripped sleeves and a red bandana is upon his head with a eye patch over one eye. He takes off at the side of Fenric. He takes off his bandana and kind of tries to nicen up his hair, make himself look better, and says, "The rock be repaired, my lord." Very good. Mr. Picklepaws, or Captain Picklepaws, wishes to be setting off very soon here in the next hour or so. And with that, he leaves. Sure. Yep. 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 Three or four. Mhm. Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay. Go for it. Okay. Cool. So you go up to the bartender and tell him your plan, and he just very kindly agrees. He says, "Yeah, that's no problem. We've had that done before here, and certainly don't mind. I take it this means that you appreciate the tavern and will be back soon, sir." Very good, very good. He also hands you a bottle of what appears to be the hangover cure that you had before. He says, "Listen, I can't tell you the recipe, but I can give you an extra bottle, so, especially since you've been so kind to me, sir." Gotcha. So you get to the blacksmith and tell him your plan, and he says, "Well, it's the apprentice again. The blacksmith is still out of town, uh, but you tell the apprentice your plan. He says, "Oh, that'll work just fine for the master. He's fine with yeah, he's fine with that. No extra charge either." Okay, sounds good. Anyone else have any last minute things to do? No. No, that was a no fin. Okay. Leisurely, huh? Okay. Freya, Vulcan, what y'all doing? I will let you know shortly. Well, looks like Freya's in the middle of nowhere. Now he's on the right ship, and so are you, Damien. Y'all don't have to move your token. This is mainly a narrative at this point, but okay. Yep. All right, so Vulcan, I take it, walks to the ship with Freya. Y'all don't have any other business to attend to. Okay. Well, upon arriving on the ship, y'all again see the now familiar sight of a rather large otter ordering several even larger men around, and just generally telling them what to do. Uh, as soon as he sees you, he says, "Ha! Good. I was hoping you would arrive soon. In that case, we shall be off directly." And oh, do tell, do tell. Yeah. He didn't hear what happened on the ship, though. No, because he was on this ship and not the party ship. Did I? Oh, shoot, that's right. Well, still. Okay. That's right. I remember now. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, well, Pickle Paws just looks at you and says, I have no idea what you mean, good sir. Crown? A crown was stolen? Pickle Paws just kind of lets you leave. No, he's not putting you in the brig. He's been pretty liberal with putting people in the brig, but, you know, he had good enough reason. Nope. The brig is underneath. That's on the bottom level. Jeez. Okay. Well, anyone else have anything to say? Nope. We're all ready and excited to get the show on the road, or high seas, as it were. Good. Me too. Let me find. Okay. I've learned my lesson from messing with pickle pots. All right. So we're gonna boop and boop and boop. Alrighty. Y'all are about to get transported. And now ye be on the open sea. So, true enough to his word, it's not very long before Captain Picklepaws gets his men together, even with the loss of his second mate, and is able to get the ship underway in about 15 minutes. He pulls y'all out of the harbor, and y'all begin to, you know, sail out to the open seas. Sure, no problem. Um, yep, so right now, it's y'all on the open seas. The sailors, we shall say, are about out and about, flying the Kingdom of Eridane colors right now on the flag, for the flag, I mean, and yeah, they're generally going about their business, except that you see that there are 4 or 5 sailors just kind of standing around talking next to the uh, bow of the ship. Pickle Paws is at the helm and is steering right now. That's what I meant to do. I want to make a maker for Pickle Paw, or a token for Pickle Paws. Excuse me. Okay. Anything else y'all want to do? Okay. Cool. Okay. Anyone else got anything to do or say, or want to go up to Damien? Well, okay then. It's not long before, well, y'all are sailing. It's been a couple hours, and that group of sailors that were standing around talking. Yes, I know who you were talking to. Were you trying to do anything in particular? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to do a narrative for Damien, but no problem. Um. Oh, okay. House. Give me 1 second. Let me go to my chat real quick. Did you saw what I sent you, right, Damien? You can say it out loud if you want. I'm just okay. Okay. Um. Well then, make an Arcana check for me real quick. Okay. Uh. So. How to do this? You hear a very slight and seductive feminine voice. Just Damien does, nobody else. Um, she seems to be humming, and after a moment of this, all she says is, "Just wait your time." I'm not tagging along with anyone. I am simply here. We shall see. Yes, correct? Oh, well, if you're not, that's fine. Valen. It's it's just well, if y'all want like actual details, because I never gave them to you. The contract is worth 500 gold to whoever brings back the head of Valen Forca. Oh my. Okay, go for it. Um, you can use Mage Hand to try, but it'll be like you are trying to use your own hand to grab a fish out of the water. Okay. Roll performance check with disadvantage. You don't catch anything with that roll. I'll let you roll 4 more times. Does that sound fair? Okay. Okay. You managed to catch a trout. Wait, is that freshwater or saltwater? You managed to catch a fish. You don't catch anything. Don't catch anything. Oh, you caught one fish. But you did it with your hand. So, yeah. I'm not sure what crown you could mean, sir. I know who the queen. I know who the king and queen are, but they were neither of them were there in attendance at the party last night. I'm sure there is too, which might be exactly why I'm going out to sea today. No, I do not have the crown, Picklepaws says. Go for it. Actually, you know what? You don't need to make it because you can tell. Just like all of your charisma and natural insight comes to a head, and there is no doubt in your mind that he is telling the truth. Yes, I do, Picklepaws says. He pauses for a moment. Not so much considering whether or not they're related, but just kind of glaring off into the distance as if something else is bothering him. He says rather slowly, "Very high, I think." "I saw her not 2 months ago. The female pirate. Her eyes are black as coal. Well, her eye, that is. She's known as Captain One Eye for obvious and uncreative reasons. But she is a wily one. I myself only caught a glance of her at a port, but there are tales that say that her ship comes straight out of the water itself, as if floating underneath. After that conversation, the group of sailors that were standing around just talking disperse and go off to do their respective duties. Any, anyone else want to do anything? Who says you get out of the brig? I'm sure you will try. It's not very smart to set fire to a wooden ship that's at sea. Is it though? Well, anyway, nobody visits the brig, so you're just kind of there. So if nobody has anything else to do, that will conclude day one at sea. And yeah, for the rest of the day, I'll just kind of sit about, reading books, doing whatever one would do while at sea and bored and having nothing to do but stare at the sea and be bored. Preening himself, got it. Preening, yes. Preening, same difference. Um, cool. Yeah, so the day passes, the sailors go about their many duties. You hear various different off key sea shanties throughout the day. Stuff. Something about. um, yes, that one. There's another one about a drunken sailor and what exactly to do with him and stuff like that. Um, the sun very slowly and agonizingly finally descends down behind the western horizon. And the next uh, next crew get on. You know, it's their time to wake up and start doing their duties. Uh, Most of the crew goes down to the galley and starts joyously and happily slopping up whatever goop the chef has made. Y'all descend and eat your own portion of the goop, and if y'all wish to partake in your own portions of the ale, and it's not long before you go to sleep for the night. The next day dawns, and y'all wake up. Y'all are in y'all's rooms or cabins. Um, okay. Well, okay. There does not appear to be anything in. Well, okay. I'm sorry. There is nothing new in those smuggler compartments. Um, After a couple hours, say it's about 8 o'clock, Captain Picklepaws sends some of his sailors down to Rayleigh to let her out of the brig. Nope. Sophia stays locked up. Well, thankfully, the rabbit is out of reach of Ginez. No. Yes, they're separate cells. Hmm. Sea of Thieves. Fun game. No, there's more than one cell down there. Okay. Is there anything specific y'all want to do for the next 3 to 4 days? Okay. Okay. Cool. Um. Cool. So yeah, go ahead. Make three um investigation checks, Finrick. Okay. Okay. Well, uh, on day two of sailing, when you start your check, you find no signs of any more smuggler compartments other than those that were in your room. On day three of sailing, you actually managed to find a good deal more of them. Uh, and pretty excitedly so. They appeared to be stocked with various different treasures and gold and silver. No crowns, just a couple different stores. But on day four of sailing, you poked yourself in the eye and on accident, and then proceeded to completely forget where all of those smuggler compartments were. Yep. On the fourth day of sailing, Captain Picklepaws gathers all five of you together and says, "Here we have a choice. There is a port to the northeast of here that we can go to that may have some more information on the target you're looking for, as well as my own. Or we can just begin to start searching the various islands around the area. There are several, um, easily reached within a day or two of here, a couple to the north and northwest, two to the south, and one to the east. Darrell Harbor is 4 days east, or 4 days west of this position." We need to find the exact location of where Valen is hiding. I know how to get to him, but I don't exactly know where his location is. You see, he's somewhere on these islands, but it would do well to find some people that may know more. Alrighty. Cool. So, if y'all don't have anything else to do on day 4, it's another day's of sailing before you get to a port that is called Refuge of Landlubbers. It is as you get closer, it's a smaller island. The port is kind of more of a series of very small docks that have kind of been shakily put together. Um, there are some bamboo trees and some palm trees that are growing up. The houses themselves are more ramshackle, and there are only two um, sturdy looking buildings. One of them is 2 stories and is clearly a nicer inn called the Dead Whale. And then their other one is unmarked, but it is clearly some sort of official looking building. The closer y'all get, the more Pickle Paws begins to kind of beam brighter and bigger. And he says, "Ah, Refuge of Landlubbers. This place is quite a nice little location, if you know what I mean." He winks at all of you. It is 1 story. Here we should find some. What's that? I mean, here you can find entertainment of all sorts, and we should also find some information on your Phelan Forca. About an hour from now, he says. We only have a couple rowboats, so it'll be 2 landing parties. I will go aboard or I will go ashore, and with anyone else who wishes to join. There, there's only a couple little boats, but you can fit probably about 8 to 10 medium-sized creatures on there, entities. Okay. Needing to be different. um, well, so Pickle Paws also goes on the second boat out and leaves 4 of his sailors to go with Finric, Damien, Vulcan, and Rayleigh. There are another 3 sailors, including Pickle Paws, that are in the second boat with Freya. Um, After about an hour, y'all make it to the port, and y'all see that it's a lot bigger of a place than uh, you previously thought. There are a lot more ramshackle houses and huts and such, and there's a lot more people um, kind of walking around a marketplace of sorts with different stands that are out. Some of them have fish, some of them have bananas, coconuts. Others have, different kind of trinkets made out of bone and bamboo and stuff. Okay. Anyone else? The unmarked building, Finrick? Okay. Rayleigh Finrick. Okay, cool. Um, so Picklepaws says, that he'll also go to the pub, to the Dead Whale pub, to find different, um, to find out more information about the pirate he's searching for rather than Ferryman. But he's going with Damien and Freya. The other sailors seem to, before talking to either of y'all, just kind of ran off to the Dead Whale anyway. Um, so they're both about the same distance away from each other, and yeah, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Let's go with Damien, Picklepaws, and Freya first, and then we'll go with Finner, Tolkien, and Rayleigh. So, uh, Damien and Freya, y'all get to the Dead Whale and see that there is a. Once you get inside, it's the kind of rundown establishment that only the uh, lowest on the totem pole would visit. There's a bunch of sailors in there, and they're pretty obviously pirates. Pickle Paw's sailors have gone off and are standing around a group of women and trying to offer them money and such. There is a off-key piano in the south corner of the establishment, and there's a pianist playing rather poorly. But all the pirates and sailors inside the establishment seem to be enjoying it and are singing more sea shanties. A rather unkempt looking man is tending the bar. Okay. Uh, oh, I was just gonna say, as you start walking over there, there is a glass that is a glass mug that is thrown past your face, and it slams up against the wall and shatters with ale kind of flying everywhere. Pickle Paws says something to the effect of, "Ah, it is like being home, isn't it? Very, very my kind of establishment." He sighs, goes to the bar and orders a drink. Um, I'm not sure what you're doing, Freya, but the music begins to crescendo, and all the sailors and pirates start to sing louder and louder and louder until they all stop with a very loud, obnoxious cheer. Most of them are just kind of shooting the breeze. They're talking about our last uh, haul. They all seem to say it vaguely, though There's a general understanding that it was ill-gotten, and talking about the various conquests with women and such. Okay, make a perception check. Excuse me. Okay. You go to the bar, and the bartender. Oh, you got a nat 20? Okay, give me 1 second, Damien. Oh, gotcha. Okay, well, dirty 20. An unnatural 20. Um, well, Freya, you go to the bartender, and he says, "And how can I help you, lass?" In a very deep, scraggly voice. "That'll be about 10 bronzers each." Yes, Rayleigh, your screen should be still on the ship. Okay, so you give him 20 bronzers. Um, Damien, in the northern corner, further away from the piano, you hear a group of sailors talking, still pretty loud, but definitely trying to be more hushed and not overheard than the other sailors. They speak of a sailor's, or sorry, not sailors, a slaver's bay, um, where it kind of drops off and you don't hear him for a second, but then after a moment you catch the name Valen, and then you lose what they're saying again. Okay. After a few moments of watching them, the music starts to sound again, and um, the sailors start singing another loud shanty. You also see Pickle Paws walk in their direction. And we're going to pause there and go to Finric, Vulcan, and Rayleigh at the official building. So, the three. As y'all get to the official looking building, y'all can, you know, clearly it looks official, so it looks nice. The plants around it are well kept. It's still well painted. The wood's not, in poor condition or anything, which is rather odd because it's so close to the sea. The foundation's good. Everything is well kept. However, y'all see a sign that has been knocked over. It's the only thing that's out of place right now. You can tell it used to hang above the double doors on the building, and now it's kind of like half buried in the sand. Uh, you can't make out the first set of words, but the last letters that you see kind of spell Dane, as in Dain, Trading Company. Okay. You managed to do so, and um, it takes you a minute because it's kind of deep in there. But you see that the sign says Eastern Island Kingdom of Eridane Trading Company. Eastern Island Kingdom of Eridane Trading Company. It also says SA 712. You know SA to stand for Second Age, as this is the second age of this world. And the year is also 720. Yes, 720. Hey. Yes, it was established 8 years ago and coincidentally run down. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta write what I just said down because I make a lot of this up on the spot. I appreciate it. Thank you. I remembered all that, but you know, just wanted to write it down real quick. I'm a slow writer. So anyway, you poke your head in, and you see that there are some people, some men in there, and some elves and some dwarves. They all look like they have all seen a life on the sea, but they're trying to hide it and look rather businesslike. Uh, their, you know, ripped capris are still, the blue and white stripes. A couple of them have red and white, black and white. They're obviously different, but they are wearing um, shirts that have ripped off arms, jackets like suit jackets that have the arms ripped off, and they all have a tie, uh, kind of really terribly tied around their necks. Their hair is slicked back, and their beards are kind of like oiled and combed. Um, one of them sees you and kind of coughs, and it draws the attention of all the other people that are in there. And a dwarf walks up to you and says, "And what do you think you'd be doing out here?" "Charlie? I don't know a single man named Charlie. What a strange name that be. You should get out of here before we kick you out." Yes, yes. Of course he does not live here. You daft, or do you think we're daft? This is an official looking building after all. Get out of here. He slams the door behind you as you leave. Okay, 12-year-olds. before you start to go look around the building, a dark-skinned woman in a tattered tan kind of canvasy dress um, bumps into Finrick and places a paper in his pocket. That's weird. Oh, there you are. Yeah, we can hear you, Finn. Okay, I lost you again. Okay. It says if you're looking for information about uh, if you're looking for information about the men inside, come meet me behind the stall with the uh, steaming jambi, and I'll give you more information. Basically, I'll tell you about it. Don't quote. Yeah, you do. Cool. So y'all head off, and as y'all head off, y'all realize y'all don't quite know what jambi is. So we're gonna pause there and go back to Damien, Freya, and Pickle Paws. You got that, Freya? Okay. So y'all can't hear any more of the conversation because of the loud singing going on behind you. But Pickle Paws seems to begin to kind of carouse with them. He's kind of telling jokes and stories and stuff, and he even motions for the bartender to bring a round of drinks to that particular table. Okay. Um, so yeah, this goes on for a few minutes, and after after a little bit, Pickle Paws begins to speak rather excitedly to the group, and one of them seems to be genuinely interested in whatever Pickle Paws is saying. So he jumps up, and all of a sudden he yells, "I'll do it!" And Pickle Paws says, "Okay," or basically seems to agree, and they shake hands, and that sailor and Pickle Paws walk out of the tavern together. Okay, Freya. No problem. You don't have to roll. Um, so y'all follow Pickle Paws out of the tavern. He brings the sailor around the corner and towards the jungle, that is ahead. Y'all follow for a few moments, and all of a sudden, Pickle Paws stops in a clearing a good distance away from town where there's nobody around. He shouts and says, "Damien! Freya! Grab him, quick!" And we're going to pause there. All right, Finner, Vulcan, and Rayleigh. You're looking for Jambi, but you don't know what Jambi is. You don't see any signs other than, hot food. Come get, you know, fresh made pot of something or other. Um, None of it really says Jambi. There's about 3 or 4 stalls with steaming hot food, um, and with cooking fire in a big pot kind of going behind all 4 of them. The signs don't mention what exactly it is, and the 4 different um, traders are kind of yelling the same thing, like, "Come get your hot plate of lunch," to that effect. Yes, the stall with the steaming hot chambi. No. Yes. Y'all gonna do that? Okay. Well, the first 3 that you mentioned that you talk Jambi to say, "No, I don't sell that," or something to that effect, and they kind of like shoo you away. It's the 4th and final stall that says, "Ah, yes, I've got that right here." And because it took so long to find that particular stall, we're going to pause and go back to Damien and Freya. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes, you are, sir. 25 to hit. All right. You don't have to roll damage. You manage to pin the sailor's foot to the ground. The arrow goes, through his toes. And Pickle Paws draws a rapier on him. As you do so, um, you knock him down to the ground, but you pull out the arrow that was pinning him to the ground. He seems to be rather surprised and is in shock right now. And Pickle Paws holds the tip of his rapier to the man's throat. He says, um, "In a momento." There we go. All right. "Carden, you old coward, tell me where I can find Valen Forca. or Slaver's Bay that you mentioned earlier? Pickle Paws says to the man, who just kind of still stares in shock. The man screams and starts to say, I don't know anything, I swear. He screams again, oh, you're hurting me. Pickle Paws slashes a light scratch across the man's cheek for extra emphasis. You better listen to him, Cardin. And Cardin, thinks for a moment and says, I can't, they'll kill me. He kind of shrinks for a moment in fear, and Picklepaw says, a fine plan, Damien. It'll have to wait until nightfall, but I think that we can wait here where nobody can hear us, he says, more towards the man rather than towards Damien. Alrighty. So, with that, yeah. Okay, cool. Pickleball also produces a rope to kind of help just tie him to a tree. We're going to pause there with Damien and go to Fenric, Vulcan, and Rayleigh, who have now found the Jambi stand. As y'all approach the stand, just before you asked if it had Jambi, you'll see a big pot. In it, there is rice and sausage, of various amount of herbs. And so y'all asked what y'all asked, and the man that is tending the stand said, yes, this is where the Jambi is sold. The man kind of eyes you curiously, but begins to make a bowl of Jambi for Rayleigh. After a moment, he hands it to her, and you get behind the stand and find the uh, dark skinned women from before. Woman, not women. It's not multiple, it's just one from before. Oh, give me 1 second. I can't do the same voice. I gotta think of a different one. Ah, yes, it was I. I know. I can tell you lots of things. I don't have the names of them, but I can tell you this. They work for a rather notorious pirate who. Yes. Okay, cool. She sees you walking towards them, but she doesn't really, mind. She saw you with Fenric before. And she continues to talk to Fenric and say, they work for a certain pirate, and that pirate is rather notorious. In fact, it is one that has decided to take over this place. No, Valen Forca is not that kind of a man. I cannot tell you much, but he is not a pirate, I can tell you that. I do not know, but I know more about the pirate whom controls this place. She killed my husband. I can tell you that she is rather cunning. If you're going to take her down, it would do well to start with that building. That building is where she manages to hide most of her money. She hides it in gold coins and chests and such inside. It acts kind of like a bank. If you are a citizen here, you can go in there and open an account, but at horrible interest rates at your expense. I believe there are some pirates and sailors that go to the dead whale that may know more. Only when I need to get their attention. I hope that you kill this pirate. And if you want help taking her down, just talk to me. Don't you think I choose my marks with knowing these kind of things? Then you are as stupid as you look. 1 second. I do. Letha Ward is my name, and I live here on the island, just a couple huts that way. Letha Ward. She mutters under her breath. Imbecile. Uh, for a second, it seems almost as if Finric, Falcon, and Rayleigh hear somebody screaming out in the jungle, but you can't really be too sure about it. Letha heads away. I'm sorry, what? Letha. And yes. Well, yeah, it seems like what she's saying is true. Excuse me. Um, yeah, she seems to be telling the truth, but you can't really tell much more because she kind of walks off towards her hut. And at that moment, Freya manages to find y'all. with that. It's really good, and you actually like it, really. Yep. It's clearly a pork sausage. I'm sorry, I didn't even make that connection. Why'd you get that bowl? Oof. I told you before you bought it. I told you what was in it before you bought it. And you were like, oh, I'm going to get a bowl of it after. You know what? It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. We're all fine. We're okay here. You don't want my jamby, you don't have to have it. Mm-hmm. I'm half tempted to make you roll for attack. I said I'm half tempted to make you roll for an attack. So, yeah, anyway, it's not long before the four of y'all journey back to Pickle Paws and Damien. Damien is seen throwing a dagger at the guy, but every time he throws it, the butt end of the dagger hits the man in the face, and the man just kind of grunts every time. You know, it's usually not wise to hit somebody in the head when you're trying to torment them. You can't really feel the blows after a while. So, I'm dead either way, no matter what you do to me. They would give me a death more agonizing than you can imagine. Well, it's still about noon, so for another 6 hours, he says and kind of shrugs. The man just kind of looks at you and goes, pretty sure I would die if that happened. No. You know, I'm pretty sure I heard that joke from one of my buddies at the tavern. He is tied sitting down. Pirate's life for me, he says. He screams, but doesn't otherwise say anything. Man screams again. That's all he does. Not long, considering it's a silver sword. Pretty sure that's another joke I've heard before. Pretty sure that's another joke I've heard before. The man screams. Not really, but what else can I do? If I tell you, they'll come up with even worse tortures. He screams. It remains quiet. The man's gasping and taking agonized breaths. Oh, excuse me. You don't have to roll for it. Okay. Cool. You managed to do so. At the sound of this coming out of Fenric's mouth, both Pickle Paws and the coward known as Cardin look up with interest. The man that's been tortured is kind of aghast and in shock and is staring straight at Fenric, and Pickle Paws is. Well, he's not aghast, but he's definitely wide eyed and staring at Fenric, hoping he'll say more. What did this lady say exactly? Pickle Paws. Oh, sorry. Pickle Paws strokes his chin for a moment. Doesn't say anything. He's rather lost in thought. Cardin, though, is staring straight at Fenric, wide eyed. He takes the hit, doesn't say anything, is still staring straight at Fenric. going after the Pirate Queen. He thinks for a moment. Well, I'll tell you what, I can make a deal. If you manage to kill her, I'll believe that you can keep me safe from them, and I'll talk and tell you everything I know about Slaver's Bay. Well, if you want the information, you'll keep me safe. No matter what way you choose to kill me, it won't be as bad as what they do. But if you manage to kill the Pirate Queen, I'm sure you think you know what you can do, but you don't know them. I'm more scared of them than I am of you, and that means that you can't get any information out of me unless you do what I ask. That's fine. I may be your little bitch, but I'm not trying to weasel out of anything. It's a simple trade. I get to stay alive, you kill the Pirate Queen. Or a simple trade. I get to stay alive and you get your information. And you won't get any information out of me. Good luck finding the Slaver's Bay. And you're gonna die trying to trying to perpetually find the bay. No, but I'm sure if I go missing, people will start clamming up real quick. I can tell you only what you've heard so far, and that's that they all work for her. If you manage to kill them or burn the place down, it might even draw her out. Oh, yes, of course she does. You see, I also work there, and know everything that's in there. I'm her inventory specialist, he says rather sarcastically to Finrick. I was joking. Did that go over your head, short man? Okay. So you cast invisibility. Huh? Roll for investigation. 18. Nice. Um, you find an open window towards the northern side of the building. The entrance is on the west side. Roll for stealth. On your way in through the window, you uh, lose your balance on the sill and kind of crash into a desk with two of the suited sort of pirate people kind of working at that particular desk. They exclaim rather loudly and say, "Hey, somebody's got in here." And there are about 10 to 20 that you can see. Okay, you manage to do that. The front door falls off of its hinges even and slams forward. One of the dwarves that's there, the one that spoke to Vulcan earlier, but you don't know that, says, "He just went out that way. Let's go get him." And they start, about four of them start running that way. Um, you see some documents that seem to be pretty standard number keeping for the place. You don't see any lock boxes, but you do see a massive metal door at the very back of the building. It is closed and has a rather large, complicated looking lock on it. Um, well, firstly, you're invisible, so nobody really knows where you are. The other 16 people that are in there, excuse me, are kind of scrambling around. A couple of them have even started to move towards the desk that you are still on to try and pick it up. No, y'all are way in the jungle. Roll for stealth, please. Nice. Nice. So, you have a couple close moments where somebody's hand gets really close to your tunic or your you know arm or something, but you manage to rather dexterously bend out of the way. Um, there's a moment where you kind of get cornered, but somehow you rather quietly jump back, do a handstand on a cabinet, and kind of vault yourself over three rather tall elves that are kind of just walking towards that particular cabinet. And after a few moments that are rather, scary and heart pounding, you manage to make it to the safe. Nope, it is closed. Looks like a brand new lock. Okay. Because of your nat 20, you're able to do so without bumping into any of the people that are still cleaning up the desk. And you make it back to the group safely. If you and Rayleigh work together, I'll allow y'all to, put, you know, put a pretty big fire on the building. It's pretty heavy steel. It would take nothing short of like a blowtorch sitting there for hours to do that. You'll have to have a very concentrated flame. Pickle paws. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Nope. Sure. The eastern wall is towards the jungle. Okay. Okay. You doing anything, really? Yeah, you just do it. Cast it. So, casting burning hands on the building. You have to touch it, so you touch it, and you have a little bit of flame at first. Then Rayleigh comes in and expands it, and it manages to just like catch right away, and the building starts to become engulfed in fire. After a couple of minutes, the town becomes alarmed, and they start doing a bucket brigade to try and put the fire out. It's useless, however, but the villagers that are there um, are all panicked because that's their money in there, or at least they think it's their money. So they kind of push past Vulcan and make a line in between Vulcan and the front door. Um, just as the front door bursts open and outrun 20 different workers who soon join the bucket brigade in trying to put the fire out. Again, it's a useless attempt to stop the fire. After probably about 15, 20 minutes, the fire completely destroys the building. All that's left is a pile of, charred wood, couple panes of glass that somehow survived, um, some, metal from pins and cabinets and such, and a rather large, almost its own building of a metal box with a metal door at the front. So, Damien, as you pry out the Carden's eyes with one of your spoons from your silverware, the guy just screams in agony, but refuses to tell you anything. Well, okay. He screams as best he can through the gag. And he, fights. Picklepaws just merely watches. Kind of in disgust, kind of not really. So, yeah, that's what happened with the fire. They're kind of just standing in front of it. Several. It's really like two or three of the old employees, we'll call them, around, along with about 10 villagers. And they're all kind of standing right near where the front door used to be, just kind of standing and staring. Most everybody else just gave up uh, after it was apparent that the seawater was having no effect on the fire, and just kind of left to do something. They needed to get out of there. No, no, she's out sailing. Well, no, but they're all standing like looking towards it. Okay. Roll for hmm. Huh? I'm trying to think. Performance would be an interesting one. I was thinking like maybe a sleight of hand or something. Okay. Roll for performance, like you said. Um, the three employees saw y'all go up to the box, and they, immediately become enraged. One of them was the dwarf from earlier, who sees Vulcan and says, "I knew it!" And he grabs a rather large warhammer, and that was just on his back. And an elf and a man join him, and they each have their own rapiers. You rolled a what? Dirty 20. uh, it does not move. It doesn't get picked. The dwarf attacks Vulcan with his warhammer and rolls a 14. So what's your AC? 14, you said? Okay, well, the dwarf's warhammer misses you. Finner, Rayleigh, had y'all come up with something? Got that, Rayleigh? Okay, hold on 1 second. One of the elves takes a swipe at Vulcan. He misses. Yeah, you can get a turn. Pick who you're going to swipe at. Okay. Okay. Roll that beautiful bean footage. You miss. Okay. Um, who is so you're heating it up first and then cooling it down second, correct? Okay. Finner, roll for performance. Okay. You heat up all the wrong spots. The man takes a swipe at Vulcan and misses. Rayleigh, roll for performance. You heat up all the right spots. I'll give y'all 2 more tries each. The dwarf takes a swipe at Vulcan and smacks Vulcan right in the face, dealing 3 damage. The whole 3 damage. if you want to. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sure, sure. Okay, yeah, roll for whatever attack you want to make. Not, not you, Vulcan, Freya. Okay, who are you attacking? Okay, so you're attacking the man. You manage to slice his throat, and he falls down dead. All right, Fenric, roll for performance. 19. The door gets the much hotter, and it's becoming apparent that you're doing a better job. Really, roll for performance. The door gets colder in the correct spots. It's becoming a little bit more brittle. Vulcan, make your turn. Oh, what? Okay, you manage to chop the dwarf's head clean off, and he falls down dead to the ground. The elf becomes enraged and attacks at you twice with his sword. Misses the first time, and the second time as well. Freya. What? Sorry. You manage to cut a large gash along the elf's chest, and he falls down dead. Four more of the ex-employees have noticed and have joined the fight now. Fenric, roll for performance. Okay. Um, the door doesn't really seem to change all that much. Really, roll for performance. The door doesn't seem to change all that much. I'll give y'all one more try. Um, the first employee is a rugged man with a beard. He attacks Freya. Misses. The next one attacks Vulcan and misses. And a third one attacks Vulcan and misses. Vulcan, your turn. You have two in front of you, and two are in front of Freya. No. I think he's in front of Freya. You miss him. And an elf now is standing in front of Freya and attacks her. What's your AC? And misses. Alright. Finric, roll for performance. Nice. Door gets much more brittle. Rayleigh, roll for performance. The door gets a little bit more brittle. And now it's the moment of truth, whether or not it'll open. But before that, we have Freya. Yeah. Okay. Nice. You managed to kill the elf that attacked you. He falls down dead. One second. Okay. Rayleigh and Finric, yeah, it's now the moment of truth. Y'all can try a crowbar on the door, but you got it. Yeah, that you can't heat it up or cool it down anymore. Okay. Roll for performance. Well, you manage to crack the door clean open. It falls off the hinges, and yeah, inside you see mountains of gold and chests, and some ledgers towards the very back. Okay, so I'm sorry, Finnick. What you doing, bud? Okay, cool. Um, yeah, it'll be the three's turn. The first one in front of Vulcan hits him with a rapier and does 3 damage to him. The other one attacks Freya and misses. And the last one attacks Vulcan and misses. Vulcan, your turn. Okay. Alright, you manage to cut a deep gash in his chest and he falls down dead with blood everywhere. Freya, it's your turn. Yes. Wait, no. I think he's dead. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, because you killed the elf. Okay. Okay. Um, so your first strike manages to cut the Bruggett's man throat again, and he falls down dead. Another 4 employees join the fight, and one goes straight to Rayleigh and attacks her, and hits for 3 damage. Another one goes straight up to Freya and attacks and misses. One attacks Vulcan and misses, and another one attacks Rayleigh and misses. Um, yeah, it's your turn. Okay. So you cast Burning Hands and you kill the 2 guys that are in front of Rayleigh without hurting her. Rayleigh, it's your turn. There are 4 people left. 2 in front of Freya and 2 in front of Vulcan. Okay. Just is that an automatic hit or do you have to roll for it? Sure, no problem. Okay, your ice knife misses. And now Vulcan, it's your turn. Okay, you managed to kill him. Freya, your go. Me too. Well, you managed to kill one of the guys in front of you. And the 2 that are left attack. One attacks Freya and hits for 2 damage. The other attacks Vulcan and misses. 9 pirates then show up, or 9 of the employees from before show up and join the fray. So, Finric, it's your turn. Okay. You managed to kill one of them. Okay. You killed one of them. Rayleigh, your turn. Okay, you missed. So, um, yeah. Uh, Vul- Vulcan, your turn. Vulcan, your turn. You miss. Freya, you hit and kill one of them. There are 9 people still kind of standing around. They're spread out, which is why Finner could only kill one. They begin to circle around you and try to trap y'all into a circle. Uh, one of them turns around and yells at the crowd that is now gathered there. He says, "If you ever want to see your money back, you'll help us in this fight. They're trying to take everything. They're thieves, honorless, trying to steal from other thieves." You can see the crowd is starting to uh, think about what they're saying and even give it some good consideration as if they might join along their side. And Finric, it's your turn. Okay, you managed to hit him and burn him. The employee that spoke before says, "See? He's trying to kill your gracious benefactor who helps keep this town fed. Who hasn't received her charity? She brings all sorts of business here." And now it's Rayleigh's turn. They're keeping a good distance. They're just making a circle around you. Okay. You managed to kill one. What do you mean? Okay, so she. Oh, what's the radius? What's the radius on it? Okay, they're not standing within 5 feet. Unless Fenric would have been able to kill more than one. So, it's all good. Um, so yeah, the guy that was speaking before is still alive, and he's starting to speak more inspirationally and get the crowd kind of like more on his side. They begin to look at y'all only with hard looks in their eyes as if, yeah, we're going to join on his side. And they themselves, the crowd, the citizens of this place, and many sailors from the dead whale uh, join them as they all start to gather around and circle y'all in. Okay. You just had your turn, so it's Vulcan's turn. Roll for persuasion. Okay. The crowd starts to hesitate a little bit. Freya, it's your turn. Yes, please. Well, they don't seem to hesitate anymore, and they kind of close in on you again. Finric, go. You're not going to say anything? Okay. No, that's fine. So you grab the logbooks, throw the money out. You going to try and run away? Or are you just going to stay there with the group? Okay. Rayleigh? Okay. Throwing the gold causes a distraction along the weak flank of the employees, allowing for a gap for everyone to run away through momentarily. If y'all want to join Rayleigh, just say yes. Mm, sure. Okay, sounds good. So y'all run away, and y'all are able to kind of escape out into the jungle. There are shouts, though, as people begin to form, search parties, and soon they will be journeying out to find you. Are y'all heading anywhere in particular, or are y'all just going to head back to Damien and Picklepaws? Okay, so okay, so heading back to Damien. Wait, that's what you said, right? Really? Okay, well, now you're lost. All four of you are lost. Y'all don't know where y'all are. Y'all are in the jungle. Y'all lost y'all's own tracks. It's starting to get dark out. Uh, no, you don't see any lights. It's not quite dusk yet. The sun is going down. Um, but it's probably like maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30-ish. Starting to get dark out. That's all. Or starting to get, less light. Y'all cannot see the sun in the jungle. Mm-hmm. You hear it all around you. You're on a pretty small island. No, it all sounds like it's coming from the same distance. You can choose northeast. Okay, I'll let you choose. Um, y'all don't know north, south, east, or west. So y'all can say uh, left, right, up, or down. Freya. All right. Yeah. What were you reading on? This is a skill you want to try and use? Mm-hmm. Yeah. There is a slight difference. Yeah. So, yeah, y'all head in the downward direction, and um, it's not long before it gets dark out. It's after it's dark, y'all make some pretty slow work of going anywhere, and soon y'all begin to see lights in front of you. They're clearly torchlights, and they seem to be heading directly for you. Torchlights. So y'all start walking up now, and after a couple more hours of wandering around in the dark, y'all end up on a very long stretch of beach, of sandy beach. Y'all see some rocks in front of y'all that are sticking up really tall out of the water, and um, it appears that you've made it to the eastern side of the island, the western side. Yeah, it's not that. It's not. Yeah, it's not a like a super big island, so y'all could. Hmm. Okay, so y'all do this, and Come across no search parties as you do. After another hour, y'all end up walking, and y'all see the torchlights of the small little shanty town or port in front of you, refuge of landlubbers. Y'all see the rock moored off the port in the deep water still, and there is a group of sailors closer to you than the town that are dealing with a couple long rowboats. Y'all see a familiar sight, three of them actually. One is a tiefling, one is a large otter, and one is a man with no eyes. And no scalp on his head. He's been scalped. So y'all are going toward the group of sailors. Okay. Y'all see Damien, Pickle Paws, and Cardin. Uh, yes, I see it was a rather successful, if not disruptive, mission in town, Pickle Paws says to you. Very well, very well. And so the sailors and y'all get on the ship. Anything else y'all want to do, or does Damien want to do anything? Okay. Well, Vulcan, you open the bag as you enter. After you've entered the ship and taken your seat, you open the bag and find several large balls of yarn. Or you were running in a panic. Sure. Doesn't seem to be any kind of magical thing about the yarn other than it's rather fascinating. Okay, so yeah, the sailors start rowing you all back to the rock. After an hour, it's getting on towards midnight, and y'all reach the rock and get back inside, or get back aboard. Okay. He's taking short, shallow breaths. Yes. He takes a very long moment to answer, uh, but he does say, "Kill the pirate queen first," in a very raspy, uh, shallow voice. Okay. I'll take him to the brig for now, Picklepaws says, and motions to a couple sailors who pick up the man and bring him down below decks. Picklepaws says, "This isn't exactly a democracy." Specifically to Rayleigh. Basically meaning that he doesn't care what Rayleigh thinks. Well, yes, it is about that. Picklepaws has had enough with the man too, so Picklepaws uh Picklepaws has a very weird kind of look that comes over him, and he says, "Interesting," before slinking off to his cabin. Okay. It appears to be a rather simple logbook um, of just various different uh, ships that have been robbed, most of them from the kingdom of Eridane. Okay, this ledger doesn't have any kind of information about that. It mostly is about the treasures that she has accumulated, um, and which ones specifically went to that branch of her quote unquote pirate bank. Okay, that's going to take a fair amount of time. Are y'all wanting to take a long rest or anything? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you're going to go to bed basically. Freya? Really? Okay, cool. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, that sounds good. Sounds good. Sophia looks fine in her cage, but somehow she's been moved into an adjacent cage next to Ginez. Um, so that sounds like a good stopping point for tonight for me. We'll pick up again next week. Um, I'll let y'all know next week if Damien found anything. Yeah, decided to get big on those. But anyway, uh, yeah. Thanks everyone for coming to check out the stream. If you watched it, if you did, I'm a little late putting the YouTube link in the chat, but it's there now. Check out the channel. We have some old episodes. More get added just every other week here. I'll be adding more this week. So got some highlights, got some old episodes. So feel free to catch up. Thanks everybody for showing up, and good night.